Ask yourself these questions. What is civil construction? Why is civil construction important to us all? How and where is construction happening? Working on a civil construction site can be rewarding, and if we are not paying attention, can also be hazardous on site with heavy plant and machinery moving about. This video will give you a step-by-step overview of the critical things to remember to keep your head in the game, so that you and your workmates can go home in one piece every night. Step 1. Before arriving to site. Let's talk about the basics first. You must be feeling well, ready to listen, ask questions and learn if you want to work on a civil site. White card and licences. To work on any civil construction site, you need to make sure you have qualified for your construction induction card or white card. You'll be asked to produce it when you're first being inducted onto any work site. However, you could also be asked to show it at any time while working, so you'll need to keep it with you at all times. To operate plant and machinery, workers need to be competent in operating them and have a current high-risk licence in place. You could be in very serious trouble if you ever use plant without having the proper licence. You can develop these skills as you progress through your career in civil construction. Personal protective equipment, PPE. Next time you're near a construction site, take some time to look at the PPE that workers are wearing to be seen and heard. You'll notice that when you're on site, you'll need to wear the correct PPE, which on most civil sites is a minimum of steel toe cap boots, long pants and sleeves, high vis, a helmet, gloves and sun and eye protection. Depending on the type of work you'll be doing, you may need to use other PPE, such as harnesses or dust masks, or even chemical gloves among others. So always check with your supervisor to make sure you're doing the right thing. Step 2. Arriving on site. There are two things that should happen on every site you attend before you do any type of work. A. Inductions and pre-starts. Supervisors and leading hands are there to guide, instruct and protect you while you work. So make sure you pay attention at your site induction, because that's where you'll find out about the work being done and the key things to be aware of on that particular job site. Every morning, your supervisor or leading hand should also carry out a pre-start meeting, which is where they cover off what work is planned for that day, what jobs you should be doing, what risks and hazards to watch out for, and what controls need to be put in place to keep everyone safe. Remember, the pre-start is actually aimed at equipping you to give you confidence in knowing what you're supposed to do, so always speak up and ask questions if you're not sure of something. B. Hazard awareness. Did you know that the government have actually passed laws to make sure sites operate in a way that keeps workers safe? These laws require that organisations identify and document the hazards workers could face while doing their work, and what controls they agree to put in place so that each task can be done safely. These documents are called a SWMS or JSA, and you'll be asked to read and sign on to them for each job you do. A SWMS or JSA is actually a legal document, so make sure you know what it says and that you also do the work the way it says you should. More detail on SWMS and JSAs will be covered as part of the CSE program. Step 3. Starting work. Okay, once you've been inducted and you've signed on to the SWMS or JSA, you're ready to get stuck into some work. The main thing is to always be aware of what's going on around you, and if you're not sure of anything, to ask your supervisor or leading hand. Good communication is essential on any construction site. It's really important to continually update your work group on what you're doing, and if you're working around any plant and machinery, never assume that the operator or spotter has seen you. Always maintain positive communication, such as hand signals or radio contact with them, and confirm that they know your movements. Keep your eye open for all site signage and barricades and follow their instructions. Stay especially aware of what plant and personnel are doing around you at all times, because it only takes a second for someone to get hurt or killed if you don't. While you're moving about on site, take note of any tripping hazards or holes, and take care when working near deep excavations and trenches. You're also likely to work with a variety of hand tools, such as demo saws, crowbars and shovels. Make sure you always choose the right tool for the job and use them safely. Step 4. The end of the shift. At the end of each shift, it's important to make sure you barricade off any penetrations, clean up all rubbish, pack away all tools and equipment, fill in any timesheets, and generally make sure the site is secure and safe. Working in civil construction is an exciting choice of career. You're part of an innovative industry that uses everything from drone technology to virtual reality tools to craft structures that are at the very foundation of the success of our nation. Every road, building and service that we rely on as a community has been touched in some form or another by civil construction. And this is what you now do. This is what you're now part of. It's why you should hold your head high and take pride in how you do your job.